Hi lovelies, it's Tori. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be going over some paid patterns that I have been loving. Some of these are patterns that I've purchased in the past and have just had great success with them. And some of these are new patterns that I recently purchased, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you all and just give a little bit more insight into that pattern, kind of let you know what to expect when you purchase the pattern, you know. So yeah guys, let's just get right into it. So the first pattern that I'm going to show you, I've actually already mentioned it in my vlog. I was supposed to film what I crocheted in the week, but I didn't really crochet a lot that week, so there was not really much to even talk about, so I decided to just include it in this video. It's a classic. You guys probably already know if you've seen that video, but it's this cute cow that I recently made. This is actually my first ever cow. I've never crocheted a cow before, just because the thought of having to sew on so many parts scared me away from it, but I decided to challenge myself and I'm so happy with the end result. I just did a classic, you know, black and white cow. You can never go wrong with the classics. This pattern is fantastic. I loved it. I had no issues with it. The only thing I did adjust was the nose. I made it a little bit smaller, but that's just a personal preference of mine. I like my cows to have a smaller nose. So yeah, I just prefer the smaller nose look. No issues with the pattern. I absolutely loved it. This pattern, as many other cow patterns, it's a lot of sewing. So you have to sew on the arms, the nose, the horns, the nose, the legs. You crochet two separate pieces and they're worked up as one piece. But that's just very, you know, typical of a cow. There's just a lot of sewing. At least I haven't been able to find one that is pretty low sew in this form. But yeah, I had so much fun with this cow pattern. I really, really love it. And guys, let me know in the comments, how much do you sell your cows for? Because I've been kind of like, I don't really know how much to sell this for, just because it did take a lot of time to crochet. But yeah, let me know, how much do you typically sell your cows for, if you don't mind sharing that with me in the comments, because I would just love to see how much you guys typically sell your cows for. But yeah, I really love this pattern, you guys. Like I said, this is my first cow pattern that I have purchased in like this form, but I'm very happy with it. I mean, I have nothing else to say other than try it if you have not already. But this cow is very, very popular, so you might already have the pattern. Yeah, no issues whatsoever. I really love this, and of course I recommend it. So let's jump into a pattern that is actually new for me that I recently purchased. So this pattern, I believe, is by Mom Stitch on Etsy, and it's this little cat pattern. Okay, I'm just gonna be very honest, I don't like the way that is, because this is like new yarn that I purchased and I just never used it. And in my mind, when I bought it, I thought that it would be such a cute cat color for yarn, because I've actually seen a cat with this color, like with these colors. Then when I worked it up, I realized that I'm not really in love with like the color scheme of it. I don't know, it kind of like, to me, it reminds me of like an army cat. I don't know, it's kind of giving me like army vibes. I will say that this is not my favorite color choice, so to give it a second chance, I did create another just, you know, classic black cat. But I really love this pattern, you guys. Here's a little side view with the tail. So these two cats were actually made with, they're both made with Bernette blanket, but this one was made, this army cat was made with a 6.5mm hook, and this one was made with a 6mm hook. So you can see the size difference of just increasing your hook size. And you know, I will say that this yarn is a lot thicker than this one. Like it was more difficult to work with because of the thickness. But apart from my color choices, I really love this pattern. I had no issues. The bobble stitch alignment for me worked well. The ears are, you surface crochet those, so they're done after the fact, after you make your plushie and you finish stuffing it. And the tail is worked in the pattern. But yeah, you guys, I think it's so cute, and yeah, I think it's a great pattern. I love this one way more. This one I might just give to my boyfriend, because he gets all the ones that kind of didn't pass inspection. I don't know, maybe I might sell it, maybe someone will love it, because that's the thing with me. I always struggle with like picking a color for a pattern, because in my head it looks great, but then when it's done, I'm like, you know, maybe that didn't look too good. But we still love it, and it's still gonna be part of the family. That's why I made this black one, because I needed to give it another chance, and I love it. I really, really love it. So yeah, it's a great pattern. Everything worked perfectly for me. So here, you guys can can probably see more of the size difference. So the next pattern I have is actually, that is a pattern that is not new to me. I purchased this a while ago and I really have loved it. And it's this cute little dog, and this is by AQ Crochets. And I know her patterns because I purchased from her a lot. She's a fantastic pattern designer. I've always struggled with finding, you know, a little smaller size plushie of a dog because all the ones I see on Etsy are huge, and it just seems like a little bit of a time commitment to me. And if you're looking for something that is not going to be that is going to consume too much of your time, I really recommend this dog pattern. Yeah, it's just so cute. So the only thing with this is that there is a lot of sewing, but I love it regardless. So you have to sew on the ears. So you make 2 separate ears and you sew those onto his little head. The head is sewed onto the body, and then the tail is sewed onto the back of his body. And she offers 2 variations of this dog, so you can either do it, you know, just one solid color, or there's an option for this, you know, like the white part of the dog. And I don't know, I just decided to do this pink and white dog because I just wanted to do something fun. I was feeling creative this day. So of course this is not your typical dog, you know, but I just think it's cute, you know, to play around with colors and different ideas. But recently I have been seeing a lot of like new dog patterns coming out, like kind of in the form of like a loaf cat, but like a chunky loaf dog. Yeah, so I'm just excited for all these new dog patterns coming out because dogs have a special place in my heart. If you guys don't know, I have 4 dogs. I have 2 standard poodles and 2 toy poodles. Yeah, I love dogs. I actually made a brown dog that sold recently, and that dog reminded me of my poodles that I have, but I was happy to see him go to a new home. But yeah, you guys, I really love this pattern. It's just, to me, when I was crocheting this pattern, I felt like it really didn't take a lot of time because there's not really a lot of like stitches involved in this. It's not much of a time commitment as opposed to like other dog patterns that I've seen. But yeah, very, very great pattern. I love this pattern and I love AQ Crochet's patterns. Yeah, just wonderful. The next pattern I have is also at this point a very popular pattern. It's these little fruit snails. I love this pattern. It's so easy to make. They're so fun to make. If you guys have not purchased this pattern already, I highly recommend that you do because they're just so fun to make. And you do have to sew on like the fruit to the snail, and then if it has a little a lot of them do have like stems, so you will have to sew that down to the fruit. But I just love these. I love their little faces. Like, they're just so adorable. The first one I made was a strawberry, and this one I messed up on sewing it because this part is not supposed to curve. It's supposed to be straight like this. Like, so if you see the difference of how I sewed these on, this one, the strawberry one, looks a little funny because you have to like lay this flat and then sew it on flat. So here I was like, I curved the tail a little. But yeah, so I made this strawberry one. This was the first fruit snail that I had made and I really liked it, but the only thing I changed was that I added bigger eyes because I don't know, which one do you guys prefer, like the smaller eyes or the bigger eyes? I like the big eyes on this one a little bit better. Just make sure that when you're sewing these, the snail body has to be flat and sewed onto the fruit. Like this one, I curved it so it came out like this. This is just a really, really great pattern. I really love this. They're so fun to make and I love the vibrant colors of these, and definitely try it if you haven't already. The next pattern I have, a pattern that has sold well for me. This is a pattern that I have purchased in the past and I have loved because, as I mentioned, I was a little scared of crocheting these cows just because of all the sewing. So I started off with these cows, and this pattern is also by AQ Crochets. What attracted me to this pattern initially was it's a low sew pattern. So all you have to do is sew on the nose and the 2 ears, which is very simple, you know, as compared as to something like this. Maybe if you're a beginner and sewing still scares you, try this cow pattern because I really love it. And like I said, it's so simple to sew on these little pieces. It's only 3 pieces that you have to sew on. This is such a great pattern, you guys, and I have sold many of these. People love these little cows. Like, they're so cute, and gosh, I don't know, it's just such a great pattern. This has always been, you know, one of my favorite patterns because it's so simple and it's not a big time commitment that you have to commit to making this, you know. So yeah, definitely if you're a beginner or you're super advanced at crocheting, I think you would still you'll enjoy this pattern. I think it's perfect for beginners. Yeah, you guys, just overall great pattern. I have made so many of these in different colors, but I've made a red one as well, and I've made a purple one, so you can really go crazy with the colors that you choose because it will never look bad in any color. You know, like I've done so many colors and I still want to do more just because you can do more. Like I can't see this cow looking terrible, you know, it just looks so adorable in any color that you would choose to do. So yeah, you guys, highly recommend this pattern. I love this pattern. It's just amazing. It's so amazing. The next pattern I have is one that I have recently purchased and I have really enjoyed it, and it's these cute little frogs. So this is also by Mama Stitch. Frog actually came with a cat, and they're actually supposed to be like pumpkins, so I decided to make it all green, and it comes with like this little flower detailing which is supposed to be part of the pumpkin. I haven't made the cat yet. I only made the frog. This cat pattern is a different pattern that I bought, so I had bought two patterns from her because she just has these cats by themselves, and then I also bought the frog and cat pumpkin pattern. And yeah, you guys, I just really love it. I had no issues with it whatsoever. And then I decided to make another one in this little hot pink flower, but I changed the flower up a little bit because I wanted to make them a little bit more rounder. But yeah, so this one I kind of just free-handed it and made it look more like a little flower around his neck. And I just think they're so cute and so fun, especially for summertime. Yeah, you guys, just a really overall great pattern. And I mean, of course, I recommend it. It's so wonderful and fun to crochet, and I love how the little flower looks around his neck. I just think it's so adorable. So yes, lovelies, that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you really love these recommendations. I hope you guys try them out, and I will see you all next time, loves. Bye.